So now that we know what time of day we work best in, now it's time to identify what tasks and what parts of our job fuel us and drain us.
The following podcast is produced by Growth Stack Media.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Badasses in Tech, your number one destination for professional growth. I'm your host and favorite mentor, Summer Mitchell. We're talking all things managing workloads this month. If you haven't heard our previous episode on tried and true techniques for managing a busy work season, I encourage you to check it out as we will build on some of those techniques that we discussed last time today. And if you like what you hear, don't forget to like and subscribe on the platform you're tuning into. And please let me know what you think by liking today's episode, leaving a review, or shooting me a DM on Instagram. I'll put my handle in the show notes along with more ways to contact us. All right, so this week, we're going to be talking a little bit more about how to make your energy levels work for you. We're going to dive into a few exercises you can try for yourself right after you listen to this to better understand what fuels you and what drains you. Ooh. So let's start with energy levels. And I'll kick off with a few disclaimers. Me personally, I am speaking from a remote-friendly point of view. I am fully aware that not everyone has the luxury to act on what you may find out about yourself, but nevertheless, it's super important to at least know or have a baseline understanding of the tasks that give you life and those that suck the life out of you. So that way, no matter what, you can better plan your day accordingly. So with that, let's get into it. First, you have to understand what times of the day do you feel most energized? Okay, sounds like a fairly simple question, but if you don't really know this, well, then no wonder why you're having a tough time with your workload. Maybe you're trying to do your best when you can't. So we're going to dive into these two very simple kind of categories. I'm sure there's a ton of different ways to think about this, but the way that I do, and for the purpose of being able to use this exercise as soon as you're done listening, I break it down into two ways. First, are you an early bird? Do you find that you rise early? Do you find that you feel most inspired or creative during the earlier parts of the day? Do you find that you need a little pick-me-up? Maybe a little coffee, a little tea, a little sweet treat around 2 to 3 p.m. in order to finish out your day strong? Or do you find yourself slower to start in the mornings, but get a burst of energy later in the day? And even maybe you feel you're most productive and you feel like you have really the sharpest mind later in the evening, like 7 or 8 at night. Neither of these are good or bad, right? But once you understand the time of the day that you are most energized naturally, you can game your workload a little bit in a sense. So, for example, for my early birds, you are doing this exercise where you're taking stock of your energy levels. You're identifying, you've uncovered that you fit the trait of an early bird. So for you, leverage those morning hours. Early birds tend to be most alert and focused in the wee hours of the day. So use this time accordingly. It's best for those really complex tasks, those big rocks, if you tuned in last time, those tasks that require a lot of concentration and critical thinking. Do that in the morning. The next one is prioritize complex tasks. So again, tackle those challenging projects that demand mental clarity and creativity during these peak energy periods, right? And then finally, break down tasks into smaller bites. Say you have a really complex project. You know that you have about a week to do it. Well, how can we divide that big task into smaller bite-sized manageable tasks? We can do that over the course of the week and dedicate those mornings to getting these done so that way we can maintain focus and avoid burning out throughout the course of the day. For me, that one was huge. I personally am an early bird, and it took me a lot of work, some of these exercises, to figure out how to give myself the stamina to go all day long and not give 100% of my energy to these early morning hours that I thrived in. I found myself getting almost burnt out every morning. So I'll talk a little bit more about how I've helped myself no longer burn out in the day. So, those are some tips for my early birds on how you can better tap into those peak energy periods of your day. I'm going to talk a little bit about what our night owls can do. For our night owls, which I envy you, just ease into the day, okay? Give yourself a nice, gentle start. Maybe prioritize some of those smaller rock items that we talked about last time, or those lighter tasks that you can do pretty much with your eyes closed, and they don't really require that much effort or outside collaboration. This way, you're allowing your mind to gradually wake up and get started for the big things that are about to come. With that being said, we know our night owls reserve their energy for the evenings, right? We and if you don't know that, maybe you'll figure that out after you do some of these exercises. You'll identify, oh my gosh, I am doing my best work at 6 o'clock at night, right after dinner. Great. Make sure that you use that time for those complex tasks. Make sure that you are giving yourself a dedicated time to brainstorm and problem solve and get into that critical thinking that is required of some of your big tasks, right? And finally, very important, just because our night owls may stay up later in the evening, they don't want to get caught in this unhealthy sleep cycle, right? So if you are finding that you fall into the night owl trait, manage your transition to sleep. Plan to wind down at least an hour. Some experts recommend 3 hours before bedtime of no screens. Try to engage in relaxing activities. Pick up a book, pick up a crochet needle. Maybe you like to draw. Maybe you like to listen to some brown noise or some green noise to really get you into that sleep state. But whatever it is that you find as a relaxing activity, plan to do that before you go to sleep. That way you will feel just as you need to feel when you wake up in the morning. Okay? So now that we know what time of day we work best in, now it's time to identify what tasks and what parts of our job fuel us and drain us. So for this, we want to have a designated sticky note, Google Doc, note in your phone, whatever it is that you may prefer. And every day for the next week or so, take inventory of each task that you have to do. So for example, let's say you're waking up on Monday, okay? Next Monday, you're really dedicated to this exercise. You want to find out ways to optimize your workload and to tap into your energy to really make sure you're working at your highest capacity in the healthiest way, naturally, right? In ways that come naturally to you. That's what this is all about. So you're thinking about what do I have on my to-do list today? On this notepad or Google Doc, whatever it is, you're going to write them down. So it may be prep for my meeting. Then the next one may be attend the meeting, right? Then the next one might be write an article, right? The next one might be give a presentation to the sales team. Whatever it is, write it on your paper and check in with yourself. Really pay attention to your body before, during, and after each of these tasks. So as you're going through, think about it. Are you feeling eager, excited, and looking forward to rolling up your sleeves for some of these tasks? Like you can't wait to dig in, and you almost only want to do this thing, right? If you're feeling that way, put a plus sign beside those tasks that you're feeling, just so energized by. Then for those that you're feeling, just like so bored out of your mind doing, or you can't even get past the first bullet of what you need to do. You're just staring at the blinking cursor, and all of a sudden the laundry needs to get done immediately, or the dishes need to get done immediately, or your dog Fido needs to go on a walk right now. Maybe put a minus on those. You're clearly trying to procrastinate. You clearly do not find joy in that particular task. So if you do that exercise every day for a week or two in terms of plussing and minusing the tasks that drain you and fuel you, plus tapping into the times of day that you feel the most energized, you will really have a good understanding of how you work best and ways that will make you just a powerhouse getting shit done in a healthy way. When I did this for myself, I found that for the most complex or time-consuming tasks, those big rocks, like I mentioned, I feel best to work through those in the morning. That way, if I need help, I can ask a few questions or get things that I may need from my coworkers throughout that day, right? I wake up bustling with energy. I'm an early bird, like I mentioned a second ago. My mind is racing with thoughts. I'm super excited to get the day started. I may have new ideas that pop into my head. I may have questions for an idea I had yesterday or the day before, and I just am ready to go. So knowing this, I make my bed. That's one of my things. I make sure that, I'm getting myself feeling good, doing the hair, doing the makeup, whatever, putting on a fresh pot of coffee, putting on some fun music that I can dance around in. I have a designated notebook next to my laptop in my office that I'm doing this interview out of right now. Some people have a notebook by their bedside table. Wherever you feel like you may want to have it, totally up to you. Me personally, I try not to mix work environments with living and sleep environments. So that's why I like to keep my sticky note pad kind of next to my computer. That way, when I'm getting all of these ideas as I'm moving about my morning, I'm running over and just kind of leaving myself some breadcrumbs to get my day started. As I was doing this exercise, I also found that I really do my best in the morning when I'm giving presentations or when I am expected to be a meaningful, impactful participant in a meeting or some sort of like social one-on-one. I find that the morning times are the best time for me to do those types of tasks as well. So early bird, I like to do my complex tasks and my social tasks, those are best for me in the morning. After a few hours of hard work, deep thinking, interacting with others in the morning, I feel pretty low energy. So I take a well-deserved break. I eat some lunch. I make sure that I go outside. Maybe I'm exercising. Maybe I'm taking a walk. Maybe I'm going to the beach because I'm fortunate enough to be 15 minutes away, or sometimes not that far away from a beach. And why not go and get some vitamin D, C? But anyways, my point is I make sure I get outside. Maybe I'm even chatting with a friend to reset myself and make sure that I'm able to finish the back half of my day strong. Pro tip about your breaks. Block these times off. Put them on your calendar. Ask in advance. Um, on my mental health break, whatever it is. That way you can enjoy this time for yourself without being interrupted. And another pro tip, it's totally fine if you find as you're doing these exercises that you have different energy levels or different kind of ways of working at different times and for different days. So what I mean by that is maybe on Monday and Wednesday mornings, you are tuned in, you're jamming, right? So you want to take those breaks Monday and Wednesday afternoons. But maybe Tuesday, you're not really feeling it in the mornings as much as you are in the afternoons. Maybe you have the house completely to yourself on Tuesday evenings. So you're going to reserve some of uh, best, your best working, your most critical thinking time for Tuesday evenings. So you're going to block that out on your calendar as well. Whether it's a break, whether it's focus time, that's kind of my point. That's the biggest point here is whatever it is, whatever your blocks of time are, socialize it. Make sure that those around you know your preferences, right? So now that I'm back and I'm feeling refreshed after my break, I want to dedicate an hour, and the timing is very important, especially for ongoing work. For me, it's writing. I write 90% of my jobs and my responsibilities include some sort of writing. For me, I need to be in a certain headspace. I need to be feeling inspired and I need to be feeling creative to do this. So I make sure that, like I said, after my break, when I'm feeling really good, I dedicate a solid hour to writing. And for me, let's say I have an article to write, it's due by the end of the week. I know that every day of the week, I will be writing, doing something to get that article completed every single day for 1 hour after my break. That way, it's done by the time it needs to be done. It's good, and I'm having fun while I'm doing it. So for me, it's writing. For you, it may be something else. And that's why you're doing this exercise to better understand, okay, what are some of these components of my job that I have to do 90% of the time? And I have to make sure that I have my best mind to do it. And this is when I have to do it. And this within a very specific time, time slot, right? It may be uh, one-on-ones. It may be reviewing sales calls. It may be some data crunching or, some bookkeeping. Whatever it is that is you'll want to make sure that you have that clearly marked out. So after I'm done doing my writing of the day, my hour of writing, I'm hitting a slump, and I still have a significant amount of the day left. So what's a girl to do? I get my coffee or my little sweet treat, like I said, and I have reserved my smaller tasks, those that I feel like I can kind of do, with minimal energy. I don't need to interact or seek help from anybody else to do it. I can do it on my own. I make sure that I have these reserved for the back half of my day. Why? Well, because they have to get done. So that's that. But then, two, I know that when I cross something off of a to do list, the physical action of putting the pencil or the pen through that task, I get, I light up. It lights me up. Unless that's just me. I mean, I don't know. But I get so excited that I am completing a task that it motivates me to complete the next one, which motivates me to complete the next one. And before I know it, it's the end of the day. My energy bank is halfway back to being full because I'm so pleased that I completed these tasks. I'm feeling productive. I got my big writing project out of the way, and I solved some complex problems earlier this morning and made some great decisions with my team. I'm I am bursting. Now I'm going to go fully with full energy and happy heart to enjoy the rest of my evening and be with my family and hang out with, my friends. So that is that is what works for me. Please take this time to do this exercise to find what works best for you and let us know what you have found out about yourself, okay? I cannot wait to help you be a baddie.